Okay, so I know it's been a while, but I want to bring something up. The reason why I have talked about the soul age, or one of the reasons why I've talked about the soul age, because the soul has an age. Okay. And basically it's just a way to help us humans understand the journey of a soul. We were all created at the same time, so it's not based off of you were created first, I was created second, nothing like that. Okay, we were all created at the same time, but we have went through our journeys at different rates, at different speeds. Okay, at different um, just it's just a different experience that we have. And there's the infant, baby, young, mature, old, transcendental, and infinite souls. Okay. So one of the reasons why, again, like I said, one of the reasons why I talk about the soul age is so that we can gain perspective and we are able to look at others and ourselves with compassion and understanding. And once you understand the soul's age and what it represents, you will be able to look at people differently. You'll be able to look at people with more understanding and give people grace. And you'll be able to look at yourself with more understanding and give yourself more grace. For instance, um, and like when I talk about the soul age, I give examples of how they present themselves, right? For instance, like a young soul, they have young souls, they somewhat lack insight. Okay, now before I go into like the young souls, understand that there's a soul age and then there's levels to the soul, right? Level one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, which basically breaks down to another round of infant, baby, young, mature, old, transcendental, infinite. Anyway, just go back to my videos if you really want a more in-depth explanation. Okay, but okay, so I'm using the young souls as an example, and some of the characteristics of young souls lack insight into self and others. So this might be like a young soul at level one, or like an infant, a young soul that's an infant, right? They may go into they may go to professionals for help, but as soon as that issue seems to be resolved, they stop seeking help. They don't want to break it down any further. Okay. As they get later into the levels of being a young soul, they'll start to give way to philosophy and the arts and begin to show interest in alternate religions. Okay. Their views is more like their philosophy is there is you and there is me, and I'm going to win. Period. Okay. The world is my oyster and I can have it all. So, and some of the positive aspects of the young souls are they're productive, they're authoritative, they create wealth, they lead the way, they create new structures. All that's good. There's nothing wrong with being a young soul. There's nothing wrong with being any level of, well, I don't like to say right or wrong. But anyway, you are where you're at, right? Some of the negative aspects, they're competitive, they're pushy, they're self righteous, they're excessively materialistic, and they lack insight. Okay? So if you are around someone with those qualities, you're able to understand it better. You're able to understand them better. You're able to look at them and be like, oh, when you see them throwing a tantrum or having a hissy fit, or like with the young souls, they're about wealth. They're about putting themselves or being in positions of leadership, right? So when they boast about that and whatever they do with that, you can look at it like, okay, they're young, so that's part of their personality. Um, you know, you can, even with the positive aspects, because being a leader is nothing wrong with being a leader, right? Creating wealth, there's nothing wrong with creating wealth. It's so it's not that they're creating wealth, it's not that they're a leader, it's not that they're creating new structures. All of that is all good, right? It's when they're leaning more into the negative aspects. But with those characteristics, you're able to say, I see you, I understand where you're at in your journey, And that's what it is, right? So that's, and I said all that again to say it's good to have an understanding. It's good to have a different perspective. It's good to be able to pull back and look at situations and look at people and understand them on a different level, right? Um, so, yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Remember, there are many, there are 7 ages and there are levels to those ages, right? And there's nothing, and it's okay that you are where you are, right? You are where you are. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. So keep that in mind. Have an open mind when you're going through this journey, not just the soul's journey, but when you're going through life as a human being. All right. I love y'all.